This is the big one now, and I know probably Big 12s didn't go as well or as you had hoped, and probably a lot of your guys had hoped. So what's the objective, and how do you think the guys are mentally, and I guess even physically, going into the NCAAs now?
Yeah, you try to look at every situation and see what you can draw positive out of it. We came back from Big 12s, and I think there were some things that we maybe were caught a little bit off guard with, anxiety-wise, just the level of toughness in certain situations, and those are things you'd rather have happen, there. And thankfully, 7 guys still got through. Unfortunately, you have some guys that if they aren't at their best at the Big 12s, then their season's over. But we're bringing 7 to Pittsburgh, and that's an awesome number. And these guys have prepared well, and I think the experiences they got at the Big 12 are, they can only help them. And just another great opportunity, and this is what you've built for the entire year, now's the time to be at your best, and so I'm excited with where we're at. We're healthier than we were even a few weeks ago, and that is, you can't ask for more than that as a coach.
You've had guys that have gone. You've got guys that are going for the first time. What is that kind of mix and match, taking 7 guys, some that know what it's like, some that don't? Yeah,
I mean, you don't know how they're going to react, but they're prepared, and they need to just go out and wrestle the way they have all year, and not get overwhelmed. And that can happen a lot of times with, I think, guys that haven't had that experience, is they get there and they get caught up in the hoopla, and they get caught up in the size of the event. And reality, it's a 7-minute match, just like they've done 30, 40 times all year, stepped out and wrestled a 7-minute match. And you're going to have the best officiating that we've seen all year, so go out and perform, but you don't know, everybody has the same opportunity out there, and whether it's your first time or your third time like Branson, you treat it like it's the only time. You treat it like it's the only time, because you aren't guaranteed anything. So you go out there and take care of business, and our goal is to get 7 guys on the podium, and this year is a little bit different because they seeded every guy in the bracket. So we're not, we don't have guys that are just randomly drawn into maybe a top 4 seed. And I think that's a great thing for this team, because we're sitting in positions where we can win every first round match. And to be honest, we're only favored in 2 of them, but we can win every single one of them. And that's a huge boost if you do go off and get that first victory under your belt. Really helps you in the tournament. And so, that's what we're focused on, is that first round. We're not going to look past that, but we have 7 winnable matches that we need to think that way when we step out there.
I know for Branson, the Big 12s are disappointing for him, and he even mentioned maybe he was a little uptight, didn't wrestle free. What needs to change for him? And again, this is his last NCAA tournament. He hasn't placed yet there. So what maybe happened in your mind at Big 12s, and what has to change for him going into this one?
He's wrestled tight at Big 12s, every year, and he's more mature than that, and he has more experience, and he needs to learn from that and go, hey, I can't let that happen. I have to be bigger than that situation and not let anxiety take over and go out. And that's what we talked about, is just being loose and wrestling loose. And a lot of things he was doing at the Big 12s was tight and squeezing. And so we've worked on some things this week on how he's going to move his feet, move his hands a little bit more fluidly. I think that will help him, and that will help him get into the flow of the match.
For Montori, coming off a good Big 12 with a runner-up, what do you see from a guy like that who knows what it takes to get to at least All-American? How does he get a little further this year?
He's Montori's wrestling the best he has all year, and even in practices, our practice matches, he's doing things I haven't seen him do all year. I think he's in the right mental state. And the thing is, when you've gone there and you've been the All-American, I think it gives you confidence at this time of the year. I think he knows, like, I'm the guy. Like, there's a lot of good guys out there, but there's guys that haven't been in that tournament, been in that situation. There's guys that haven't, got up on that podium, and I think that's confidence for him. I think he feels like I think he feels like a veteran, even though he's just a sophomore. I think he feels like a veteran, and I think it's showing in his preparation and his focus right now.
Oh, I got a bud today from Sheridan.
Oh, okay.
Buddy, you got any questions?
Yeah, Mark, just, what advancements and what improvements has Hayden Hastings made this season, and how happy were you for him to get one of those at-large bids?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's shown a lot of improvement, especially with cleaning up some of his sloppiness. And then the other thing that I've seen with Hayden is he's really felt more comfortable in the last month of opening up his offense and having confidence in his offense on his feet. So those things bode well. He's wrestled at the highest level, and you just got to treat this as the same old thing. Like, this is no different than the high school national tournaments you've competed in. And again, he's one of those guys that I think is wrestling as well as he has all year. And he didn't wrestle a bad Big 12 tournament. He was in one of those weight classes that was kind of messed up with allocations. But he wrestled pretty well, and except for his semifinal match. And other than that, he made a couple of mistakes, but he's making some mistakes because he's being a little more aggressive. And so when those things will I think he'll be as sharp as ever at the NCAA tournament, and that could really help him through the tournament, and he could do, the sky's the limit for Hayden.